Is there a way to stop
So
from
this
going
game,
back to the lobby or not?
no, that's always a thing that's gonna happen. It's
Alright.
an old game.
That's fair. It's fine. Just a little quirk.
So this game has one hell of a story and a lot of lore and background to it that you're probably never gonna see.
Yeah, I figured.
A lot of it is surprisingly buried in this game.
Well, I figured. That tends to be the case in a lot of games I've played, actually. You want to know all the lore of this game? How about you go to this? How about you go to this resource that's only on our website? And you have to log in.
Ooh, really? Okay.
That's Destiny.
Oh, seriously? Okay,
Yeah,
that's
a
pretty
lot
bad.
a lot of the story is in Grimoire, which it unlocks when you find certain hidden objects in the game, like dead ghosts that are in the levels, or a bunch of other things.
Oh.
Or if you just get certain kills with amount of weapons, or if you get an exotic weapon, then you unlock a
Yeah.
Grimoire card, and the only way to see it is by accessing it from the Destiny website.
The network. Oh, wow, okay.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't think this game has that kind of problem.
Hey,
It's
Replay
pretty-
Yeti is having their $5 shirt sale.
really
Yeah.
cool. Okay,
Yeah, everything you need to know is actually in-game, it's just, you're probably never gonna find it.
yeah, well, I mean, it's like just world building stuff. It's not like dead-on lore. It's not like
Oh, okay.
important
So it's
lore.
not like important stuff to the actual plot, okay.
Yeah, but it's stuff that would have made the world so much more interesting, kind of thing. Because the world, I've already explained it to Quill. The story of Year 1 Destiny is there is a evil entity called the Darkness that's trying to destroy humanity at its source, and you're there to stop it, and then you stop it. Okay, now on to Year 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I write articles on a website. Like, I'm a freelance writer, so I write with a bunch of friends. And I wrote an article that is basically all the problems that Destiny 2 needs to deal with in order to not be like Destiny 1. And the thing I got to is the story. Year 1 was exactly that, but Year 2 is like... The race known as the Awoken are at war with a Oryx known as the Taken King, who can convert anything to be bent by his will to fight for him and have all these unique abilities. Except that the Awoken lose and are completely eradicated by him. Now, the only way you can access it without getting completely obliterated by his ship called the Dreadnought is if you get a stealth drive from Cade 6. And, like, these are characters you wouldn't have even fucking known in Year 1. Like, these are NPC people. Like, they were dead-on NPCs.
Basically, just background characters, okay.
Like, these are important characters to Year 2 and 3, and they're actually imperative to Destiny 2 now. But, like,
Okay.
you wouldn't have known that in Year 1. They would have been just as important as the people walking in the street in this area.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are they basically the same as these, like, scientists walking around here that you would never talk to?
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
odds are you probably wouldn't have even remembered their names.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's also crazy because a lot of the people that voice these characters are like super popular voice actors. Like one of them was like Cade 6 is voiced by Nathan Fillion. One character is voiced by Matthew Mercer. A couple other characters are like I think Marisha Ray is one of them. The Ghost, which is like your companion, that like teleports you back and summons your mount, which is a sparrow, which is like this speeder bike, like Star Wars speeder bike kind of thing.
Gotcha.
That was voiced by Peter Dinklage up until Year 2, when it was voiced by Nolan North.
Cool.
So there was like huge star power in.
So they're putting some money into really, really small things.
Yeah, and they didn't utilize it.
Okay.
Central control. Okay. Hope you're ready, Fat Nathan.
Know it.
So is this also a 4-section chapter? Or does it go longer?
No, this one's actually shorter.
Really? It's a 3-section chapter then?
Yeah, oddly enough it is.
Huh. Okay. I actually didn't mind that.
Who made Destiny again? Was that Bungie?
Yeah, that's Bungie.
Okay.
Like, I went in because of pedigree, and I stayed because
How
I
well does it
actually really liked Destiny.
Play.
Huh?
How well does it play, like in terms of like feel and mechanics?
Well, Cole can vouch for me on this
Is
one. The game controls really well. Like
Yeah,
it
no,
plays.
it's,
It's a super good shooter.
shoots. Would you say it shoots similar to like Call of Duty or like Halo or
It's
something
Halo.
like that?
Halo, yeah.
Closer to Halo? Okay. I can get behind that.
It's Halo with aim down mechanics, basically.
Oh, okay, so they got sights on that one. Alright.
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, and like there are some really cool weapons that you can use too.
You still got the same like floaty big jump?
Yeah,
You actually have.
Okay.
You can have like a double jump, a glide. It depends on your class.
yeah.
Okay.
There are classes, and they have 3 subclasses as of the Taken King, which is year 2.
Okay.
So, hunters are like, like the ranger type of thing. They're kind of assassins. They use a knife for melee. Like warlocks have a force palm kind of thing to do with it, and Titans
Like a
punch.
pushback?
Yeah, and Titans punch.
Okay.
Which is replays.
Yeah. But like hunters are like this. Their names on the box. They hunt basically. They're like assassins and like wait long periods of time to attack their targets. Their first subclass is gunslinger, where they spawn a golden gun that's imbued with fire, and it like has 3 shots, and you can just deal tons of damage to enemies. And then you have blade dancer, which allows them to use a lightning infused blade, or called arc in that game, and just go to town. And then the last one's Night Stalker, where they spawn a darkness, a bow made entirely of shadow called Void, and they use it to tether enemies and slow them down and make them more vulnerable to teammate damage.
Huh. So they get a debuff.
Yeah. And then you have like warlocks who start with like a void ball that they shoot, kind of like a Kamehameha kind of thing, like a giant ball that deals a ton of damage. Then you have Sunsinger, which is kind of like a support role, like an anti-wipe role. It allows them to revive themselves instead of waiting on a teammate to revive them. They can just use their super to revive themselves if they get killed. And the last one is Stormcaller, where lightning strikes them, and then they hover in the air, and they have this giant, like, cone AoE of chain lightning.
Is your character class like determined upon character creation, or is it
Yeah, so you can basically
something you
pick
can
a class.
change?
Yeah, it's basically I compare it a lot to PSO. Like the loot drops are similar, among other things. But
Because in this game you're completely stuck into the role that your character's created in. So in that game, can
Yeah.
you actually change class, or are you completely locked in?
you're completely locked into the class, not the race.
But not the subclass. Oh, you can change race. That seems weird.
No, you can't change
You can
race.
change
Like
them.
everything's locked in with character creation, but like you can choose your own race and gender.
Your weapons are also not restricted.
Yeah,
They're
you're
all
also
the same
Oh.
weapons.
yeah, you're also not
Okay.
restricted to weapon types, only classes. So hunters only have the same 3 subclasses. Titans have the same 3 subclasses. Warlocks have the same 3
Right.
subclasses. But you can make whatever race you want, whatever gender you want. That's all locked
And
in at character
whatever
creation.
class. Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
the class is chosen, and you're locked into those 3 subclasses.
Gotcha. But can you change between those 3 subclasses, or once you choose
Absolutely,
a
you can
subclass,
change
you're
them
locked in?
anytime. You can change them anytime.
Okay, that's
It's just like changing like a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
okay.
The only major thing that's different in comparison is that there are rarities in the game. Like you get common, uncommon, rare, that kind of thing. The highest
Does it
rarity.
use like the Diablo style?
Yeah.
Like color color pool. Okay.
Well, kind of. It's a mix between Diablo and Borderlands, if anything, because it's like white, green, blue, purple, orange.
Purple, orange, yeah.
It's like
Yeah, that's
it's yellow.
Borderlands an exact copy. Okay.
It's yellow for this one actually.
Instead of orange.
Yeah, you like golden, but yeah,
It's
you
essentially
can
the
only
same
have 1 exotic weapon and 1 exotic armor equipped at a time.
So,
Because they all have
Yeah,
like these,
that's my reaction.
they all have these extreme benefits to them because all exotics are unique. So
Okay. So they're unique in that they have a special skill attributed to that particular
Yeah.
type of item. Okay.
yeah,
That reminds me of like the Diablo 3 style sets or
Yeah, so,
some of the
like,
legend.
Quill plays a hunter, and there's a piece of armor for his legs called the Bones of Yao, and that gives him an extra jump, so he can have 3 jumps.
3 jumps. Okay.
And the Warlock has a helmet that makes his super recharge faster and allows him to revive and be revived faster, to kind of like fill in that role for Sun Singer. But the exotic weapons all have these insanely good skills. Like, there's a weapon called Bad Juju, which is a pulse rifle, so it fires 3-round bursts, but it's fully automatic.
Okay.
And every time you kill an enemy, it gets a exotic ability that increases its attack damage and also instantly refills the magazine on an enemy kill. So you can theoretically fire the weapon forever, as long as you're killing enemies.
And as long as you're chaining kills, you're getting damage boosts as well?
Yeah, you're getting a damage boost, yeah.
Okay.
And then you get to weapons like Red Death, which is this automatic rifle that's all black, but has blood-covered spikes at the edge where the undergrip is, where every time you kill an enemy, you have a chance to recover health. And it's the same thing as Halo, basically.
Okay.
It's the same thing as Halo, basically, where you get regenerating health. But it has, like, 2 sections where you have armor and then health.
Okay.
So, it like, health regenerates before armor, if you're in your health pool. And then you get to the crazy weapons. Like, super good advice, where every shot you miss has a chance to return to the magazine. And there are videos of people, and there are videos of people who just fire into the air, and the weapon doesn't empty for like 3 minutes of firing.
That's good.
It's super good. There's also, I'm trying to think of a really good one. There's also Thorn, which has a poison proc.
Is that like a dot?
Yeah. It's a handgun. It's a hand cannon, so it's a revolver.
Okay.
Every time you shoot it and it hits an enemy, they get poisoned. And this proc resets, on every hit. So as long as you're shooting the enemy and spacing out,
or does it just reapply?
It just reapplies.
Okay, so it's not like Borderlands 1's fucking dots where they stack on top of each other.
Yeah.
Alright. So that shit's busted.
But it still resets, so you can. So as long as you know the timing of the proc, you can reset it, and you have
you
it
can
for
keep applying it to the guy.
Yeah, you can set it for like a good minute of proc. It's good. Quill, what's the weapon you have? Invective?
Yeah, Invective.
What is that?
It's a shotgun.
What does it do?
I can't really explain it that much because I haven't played Destiny in a while.
That's true. If I had my phone, I could look it up. But yeah, all the exotics in the game have these exceptionally good skills that fulfill certain roles.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Borderlands and Borderlands 2's legendary weapons, where they all have some kind of unique attribute that makes them stand out.
Yeah. The weapon I use is called the Kvostov 7G OX.
These names are something, though.
Well, yeah. The point being is that it's an auto rifle from old Russia, which is where the Earth, which is where the Earth area takes place, because you go to these different planets. So you have like Earth, Mars, the Moon, stuff like that.
So okay, so that's when you're actually on the Earth planet. That's where you land.
Yeah, that's where you can get it. That's where you can get the Kvostov. That's like your first ever weapon. It's like your first ever weapon is the Kvostov. And it took like 2 years for them to add it in as an exotic. So they had like this giant like nostalgia factor mission where you kind of go back to these classic places and talk about the past. It's like super nostalgic. I actually really like it. But it's one of the most customizable weapons, because in the settings for the weapon, for the nodes, the upgrade nodes, you can choose between if it's fully automatic, if it's burst fire, if it's single fire. So if it's...
Am I the only person who saw him like teleport on the client?
No, I turned around, so I think I didn't see him.
Okay.
Surprise!
Yeah, you cut across the entire room into the teleporter.
Yeah.
I'm a magician!
But yeah, the Kvostov is the only weapon that allows you to switch between the 3 firing modes in the game, between semi-automatic, which is single fire, 3-round burst, or full auto. It lets you change between its RPM, like the amount of rounds it fires.
Oh, okay, wow.
And it also gives you a bunch of...
It's also adjusted while you're able to change its
Yeah, so like you can have this super fast firing weapon, and because of the RPM change, it also increases the magazine. So
Oh, okay.
You can have it fire 900 rounds per minute with a 100 plus round magazine. And it just deals a ton of damage. Like, it's super fun.
So, how's the math on that work? Is it just that it doesn't consume an actual shot until 9 rounds fire? Or...
It has a 100 round magazine. That's its pool it fills from. It doesn't, like, take
Oh, does it just have a quick reload?
Yeah, it just has a reload.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Actually,
Gotcha.
Yeah, and there's a lot of quirks about it, too. Yeah, there's, like, just a ton of exotics that are cool. I haven't actually gotten a mat yet. Well, that's not true. I got one for, I think, attack. Yeah.
Oh, for power.
There's one weapon I really like called
That's a good one to have.
There's one weapon that I just got that I absolutely love. Because the quest line is stupid. So...
the one that leads you to getting it, or?
Yeah, the one that leads you to getting it. Because Quill won't be able to get it for a while if he finishes it now. So Bungie has this thing with the number 7, you know?
Okay, yeah.
So after you find 4 fusion rifles that all have these really weird names, and you give them to the gunsmith, he's like, okay, I have to look this over, come back to me. If you come back and log in on the 7th of the month,
oh, wow.
he'll tell you, yeah, there's this thing called the sleeper simulant that we hear about, and you get it. And then you have to, like, you have to go to these 2 specific areas, and then you have to go to 3 planets and do public events there, specifically for transmatting warsats. And after you do that, you can build the weapon.
That seems rather obscure, but alright.
The weapon is a heavy fusion rifle. Fusion rifles are these charge up and fire bursts of pure energy weapons for special weapons, but this is a heavy weapon. The reason for that is because it fires one giant bolt that penetrates enemies and ricochets multiple times. And it deals a ton of damage because it's a 3-round magazine.
Does the ricochet prioritize targets, or is it just random ricochet?
It's somewhere in between. If it ricochets and it doesn't hit, then the next ricochet will prioritize.
Oh, wow.
It's that kind of thing. It doesn't.
So
tell
every
you
other ricochet targets an enemy. Okay.
Yeah, and it penetrates enemies. So if you're just dealing with a huge line of enemies, you shoot through all of them, and then it starts ricocheting.
Oh god.
It's so crazy because it tears apart bosses. Like we're talking average, and we're talking average fusion rifles doing like, I don't know, 3,000, 4,000 damage or something at most. This deals like 60,000 damage in one shot.
Wow, these refreezes.
Yeah.
That's insane. Love it.
That's a server issue.
Yeah?
Yeah, I placed a freeze trap on him, but it's only supposed to last a certain amount of time. But sometimes when we hit the enemy at the exact same time and he unfreezes, it tends to reproc.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's Destiny in a nutshell, though. It's a game I introduced Quill to first, but I've been hearing about PSO for like a decade at this point. And had
he played it in the past, or had he just told you about it?
I'd never played it, and he'd never played it.
You both never played it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before I played it, he only played an hour of it before we started streaming.
Yeah, I have a Focus character.
And how did you hear about it?
Two ways. I used to watch a stream that doesn't exist anymore. Like, they've stopped doing it altogether, called Power Reset. And they had a stream where they told me about SEHT hack. And I installed SEHT hack. And then and then my computer died. So I never bothered playing it.
Okay.
And then...
What year was this?
Like 2009?
Huh.
2011, maybe?
Well, you avoided a headache, at least.
Yeah.
Because I started playing on that server in 2008.
And...
Huh?
I don't know if avoid is the word for that. More like got screwed out of it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, the things that happen on that server are not really great.
Yeah, and then the most recent reason why I started playing is because of the PC Gamer article. Like, it reminded me of how much I wanted to play it reminded me of how much I wanted to play PSO.
give it a shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I just made an Affinity account, and I realized, this is super easy. And I played it for an hour, and I was like, this is kind of boring. I wonder what it'll be like with a friend. So I told Quill, and I was like, hey, you just got to do this thing. You got to make an account, and then he did. And the
It
first...
seems like every day I have tech issues with it too.
Yeah, like yesterday...
Huh.
Well, yesterday was a personal issue, not a tech issue.
Oh.
He tried logging in with...
Please shut up.
He tried logging in with the online compatibility executable and not the online executable.
Oh, he didn't use the right. Okay, he didn't use the right client.
The other day though, my system recognized it as a virus and automatically deleted it.
It always does that.
Yeah.
In every
well,
private
that's
server I've
okay.
ever played on, it has always identified the executable as a virus. It always thinks it's a Trojan.
Yeah, that's what happened, yeah. He had to like add it into his firewall exceptions and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. The PC
So you actually dodged 2 bullets. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because that's a fun thing.
I haven't had to deal
So,
with it
yeah.
yet, but that's because I disabled Defender because I have Kaspersky. And Kaspersky
Yeah,
knows
so-
knows the difference.
I actually started playing this game like online for the first time. I actually did get to play online on GameCube during Sega, but it was in the last maybe year, and it was fairly dead at that point.
Hmm.
So I found out about Shit Hack and got my GameCube hooked up to them,
I like that name. I can dig it.
and you know, it was pretty good. It still had a very small player base because the GameCube version was pretty much going out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I eventually found out about Blueburst. I didn't know that they had hosted a server for a version that I didn't know about until I had read of it.
Hmm.
And I think around that time I had recently, actually I think a year later, I had purchased a laptop.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, I got a buddy who's gonna get on and make an account. I'm gonna play here too. I got in at the exact same time that server was changing hands from the original owner. Shithack himself ended up moving it over to Chrono 314. So
Yeah,
I came
I
in during
actually,
that transition period, which was pretty decent at the time. The server was very populated. I met some pretty cool people that I still talk to this day.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about SCHT Hack is that when I first tried to actually do it after I got my new computer, I couldn't find any of the, like, I went to the website and none of the resources were on. So, like, I tried to download a server stuff and I tried to download the game and, like, none of it was working. So...
Yeah, I remember some weird shit happening, I think around... Yeah, it would have had to have been around 2009. I think that their account systems were fucking bad.
I'm trying to drop stuff.
As in,
while
like,
I'm
people
avoiding
trying
battles.
to make... As in, like, people trying to make servers, like, either had to wait months for it to be approved, or it just wasn't happening at all.
Yeah.
Weird issues like that. Because I got in, I think, just before all of that started going weird, which was in 2008.
Yeah, I didn't even
And-
technically start with Affinia, actually. The PC Gamer article happened, and I made an account on Ultima PSO. And I was like...
And you dodged a fucking bullet there. That's the second one you dodged.
Yeah.
Third? What's the third?
You said something about like the Trojan stuff.
Well, no, that's never been an actual problem.
Yeah, well, I think he's talking about
That's
the
a
second
false-
bullet
that's a
being
false
the
positive,
PC
that's
Gamer
never-
article.
Yeah, I guess.
Now, the PC Gamer article, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make an account on Ultima. And I still have the game downloaded from Ultima, but I haven't loaded it up.
Okay.
I talked about it with a friend, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing a game on Ultima. And they were like, try Affinia, it's better. I was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, there we go. There's a whole other issue there.
Yeah.
I was trying to wrap up, but
It was a person in a different Discord server, and I was like, yeah, I'll be on ya. I made a
Gotcha.
focus character, and I was like, okay, I'm not a huge fan of the attacking thing, and I have to kind of focus on techniques. Is that what I gotta do? Yeah.
on forces. They're the hardest class to start with.
Yeah, I've learned that very quickly. But I kind of like the idea of being technical in that sense. And
It only lasts for so long, by the way.
Yeah.
Forces endgame drop off terribly in damage.
yeah,
They become support characters heavily, and there are some places where they excel in damage, but it's
well, I'm
few and
well,
far between.
I don't really have any complaints with that because I've always been a healer in MMOs.
Gotcha.
But,
Yeah, the good thing about forces is that they're like a staple for every party. Everybody wants at least one force in the party.
It's super weird because I've always read up on PSO because like I started researching why there was no episode 3, and then I read why there was no episode 3, and I was like, okay, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, that one's a little jarring. I forgot about that. Yeah, that was its own.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of this boss because it's fucking hard to explain him.
All I know is that
I
a
am
nuke's about to
immediately
go off
scared for
somewhere.
my life.
All I know is that a nuke is about to go off.
There's some cool exploits related to him, but I don't think we're gonna be doing any of
How's
them.
it going?
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna do any of them. Where is it? So all I can say right now is anytime you see the pillars pop up, prioritize the red one. It will lock him up.
Okay.
Yeah, this boss is he's probably one of the most weird, like, broken bosses in the game. He has his own HP pool, which you can kill him by draining it, and that's what the screens are here for. Alternatively, you can break all 6 pillars that come out of the ground, and that will also end the first phase of the fight. So it's usually do you do one or the other? Because attacking the screens is just a waste of time if you're not gonna drain his HP pool. They basically just eat up. And we're probably gonna be faster off just killing the pillars in all honesty.
Okay.
So yeah, if you see him just moving around the screens, ignore him. He's not gonna do anything.
Okay.
And we'll just focus pillars, which there's like 3 of left over, I think.
His name is Volopt.
Yeah, Volopt.
I don't like the look of this guy though. Like all
Yeah,
things
it's pretty good.
considered, it's the idea of like, it's pretty much Skynet, I guess, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, he's a weirdo
Like a
computer.
like a rogue
Goes
core,
crazy.
like a rogue AI.
Does he do any damage in this phase?
Well, we're locking him up, so he's not doing his damage attacks. If you
Yeah,
lock up the red one and break it before a certain amount of time passes, then he will not attack.
Yeah, we're basically preventing. We're like stun locking him through his timer. Is what's happening. It's a classic oversight in terms of design, which is interesting to see that it happened here too.
In ultimate mode, it does not work. He does not get stunned like this. You have to break the pillar with raw damage before he attacks, or he will get it off. It does not matter if you're hitting him or not.
Okay.
So phase 2 is a bit more involved.
Ooh, what is that?
That's the core.
Hi.
That is not a core.
That is
a crab.
Damn it. You just took what I was gonna say. That is a giant enemy crab. A giant enemy crab with missiles.
Yeah, he's got 4 arms.
That's not a crab then. That's a person.
It's a person in the crab suit.
Guessing melee won't work here.
Yeah, you're gonna want to start moving.
Got it. Got it. That's 110 damage.
My main concern is the front laser, but oh good, he's healing. Yeah, he just wastes his time during that. I usually leave the healing arm alive because it just pads him out. And never mind, front's gone. Don't have to worry about that. So yeah, he can break apart into chunks.
Like, again, I always... back on the topic from earlier, the one thing I always found amazing is that despite all of my years of playing RPGs, I had never played this one. And it's listed as, like, one of the most influential RPGs of all time. So I got curious. I was like, what makes it so influential? And then the more I played it, the more I realized that there are a lot of things that this game did right that I like from the RPGs I played.
Yeah, it's my favorite like mistake that Sega made. Because they accidentally made an amazing game, and they have no idea how they did it. Because all following examples of this series are fucking terrible compared to this one.
I'll give a half pass on PSO2. The one thing I can't stand is voice acting.
It's okay.
Yeah. Like the only
PSO2 is solid.
Yeah.
Are you referring to Universe?
No. The Japan only game.
The Japan only. Okay, yeah.
The one I had to make a Sega
that
Net
game
PS. The one I had to make a Sega Net
but
account
holy
for.
shit, is its grind really boring?
Yeah.
It's not to say that this one's fantastic either, but I find this game to be a bit more involved than PSA.
Sorry, I let him over here.
It's fine. I can heal you.
That was my first hit. That was my first hit in this boss, by the way.
Yep, no worries. I can heal you, by the way. Don't worry about it.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna be a supportive. I have my photon blast. I
How
don't
does
remember
that-
the etiquette of photon blasts.
You can do it. It doesn't matter at this point.
Okay.
We don't have any chains, so.
Okay. Well, here goes.
Okay.
Echo the dolphin. I have a feeling that's what they were referencing with this, if anything. Little echo of the
Possibly.
dolphin. 762 damage. Okay. Cool.
He's just gonna focus me, so if you guys just want to attack him, yeah, sure, go ahead.
You have fun.
Run around in circles, walk around in circles, walk around. Yeah, literally, he's only attacking me.
Oh no, he's attacking me too.
There he goes.
There we go.
That was a nice fight.
Yeah, pretty cool.
He's also a major step down in difficulty from Dayrole.
Yeah. Well, Dayrole they had a lot going. Like, he had
Yeah,
phases
they also
where you
fucked
couldn't
up his
do.
damage pool.
Yeah.
Oh, 15 hit mech guns. If any of you want that, I can drop that.
15 hit mech gun?
Yeah, 15 hit percent.
Oh, okay.
I dropped it in the middle of the arena.
I think I'm using a mech gun. So I'll probably
I'm not. I'm using a rifle.
I'll probably take that.
But yeah, the whole thing with Shitheck is that it had a really bad administrator.
I'll take it.
Over time, he started implementing changes to the core mechanics, adding custom items and whatnot that started changing kind of how people were playing. And he made a ton of money off of that server. Dude made bank. You could donate to the server to keep it alive, which a lot of private servers tend to do. It's supposed to keep the server functioning. He said that you would be donating out of just goodwill. It was, you shouldn't expect anything in return. On the side, he was selling in-game items for tons of cash.
I
Red
actually
rings
heard
like
about that.
$100 a pop.
I actually heard about that.
Dude easily made 5 digits in his time running that server, possibly 6.
Jeez.
Because there were individual players in that game. We found the purchase lists for some of them. There were some people who spent thousands of dollars, just single people. So it was really funny to me. I had stopped playing around 2013 on that server, just kind of on and off, but the changes kind of put me off, and I was not too fond of how the server was run.
What swords do you use?
Eventually,
Do you use swords?
in-
What swords?
in 2015, the server went down. It went down for months, and nobody knew why. We eventually found out from our administrator that the hard drive containing all the server information had been fried. Everything that everybody spent money on and spent all their time in was just gone.
That sucks.
And during all this time, with all the money that people gave him to keep the server supported, he never once backed it up onto a separate drive. Just never occurred to him.
Do you use breakers or swords, by the way?
No.
Okay.
I'm also a ranger.
Okay.
Go for it.
Good, because
So
I
yeah,
got a dark sword plus I got a dark breaker +4 or dim breaker +4 with a 30 on dark.
So, suffice it to say, it was quite heartbreaking to me because I actually did meet a lot of friends on that server and enjoyed my time on it, despite how it started going around the end.
Hey, cool. You want a panic hand? You want a right handgun +7?
No, I'm fine.
It's okay. Say so. Do you want it? You want a ravage?
That's a slicer. Ooh.
Do you want a ravage? Because I got a hard handgun or a hard.
No, thank you.
Cool.
I cannot steal TP. I am a robot. I cannot use magic.
Oh, it's not a. It's a confusion weapon.
I thought you said heart.
No, it's riot.
Oh, my bad. No, thanks.
Okay. Might as well. I mean, we're plinking, so. Might as well give out anything I don't need.
Ultima, on the other hand, is a whole other beast. It's not run as poorly because the guy who's handling it is someone I consider to be generally smarter than the shithack owner was. This guy's actually integrated his donation system into the in-game currency for that server. So yeah, a lot of in-game currency is actual currency.
Huh.
Yeah, you can spend money on that guy. No shady backroom deals. He is completely open about taking money for gear and encourages it. My main issue with Ultima is, like, if I was not happy with the changes they did to shithack, oh boy, Ultima really ramps it up. They have a ton of really poorly thought out custom gear, as well as the fact that they have actually changed enemy stat parameters for the final difficulty in some areas to the point where they just flat out doubled enemy stats. Which wouldn't be so bad. It does make the game more quote-unquote challenging. The main issue is they've also doubled evasion, which is the stat for the hit or miss check.
Mm-hmm.
And when you double that stat, people who are playing this game regularly are not going to be hitting monsters, like, at all.
Yeah.
Which is where the donation incentive comes from. If you want to play effectively for endgame, you will be putting money into that server to get gear so that you can actually hit monsters.
Okay.
So that's my main problem with Ultima.
I mean, coming from the source, man. We just started a week ago. We don't have a whole history with servers bad or good.
No.
So, I mean,
you got lucky with this one. There's very little major changes to this game, and the guy who owns this does not accept money from people at all.
like, I noticed that the only custom items I think I saw were discs so far.
Yes, just the music discs.
So, I mean, this game's about as vanilla
And those
as you can
actually
get.
existed in the base game. It's just some of the music discs
they were just in the
that
code?
are-
Okay.
Well, discs 1 through 8 existed originally in the base game. Then they added more sources. They just added more songs that you can get. They also did not originally drop from monsters. The original discs 1 through 8 you had to purchase in a quest, which you can still do.
I got a shot plus 15. What?
Yeah, I get that as a reward.
Okay. Not bad, I guess? I mean,
It's an introduction to your first crowd control weapon. It is an AoE.
oh. Huh.